Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Avengers Twilight issue 4. I really like this cover. I like how Thor is shown here, and it's really kind of cool that we get like two Thor kind of things in 1 week with this. That's a really cool design that just really works with Thor there. So, this one I actually liked because it's bringing our heroes together. We're looking into this, seeing what's kind of coming on. We get the Red Skull kind of pretty much going for his endgame plan. And this really works out pretty well because we understand the kind of team dynamics of what's kind of going on. And it really kind of cements that I would really like to see this kind of creative team also tackle an actual Avengers kind of run at some point. So, we start off kind of where we left off. Steve commenting, "They came, the mighty Thor and Ms. Marvel. There's no stopping us now. I've heard of this Thor guy, an alien with delusions of grandeur. Stand down, James," as Steve just pretty much takes him to task. I really like, whoop, right here, the clang that we get with Steve just putting him down with the shield. "Captain, we shall break bread and drink mead later. How may Thor assist thee?" I love that. He just asked, "How do I help?" "It's good to see you, old friend. We need to clear the raft. Nobody dies today." "We got a problem, Cap." And I just love that. Steve's like, he's business, but he's also, "It's good to see you." That's Steve there. No matter how old he gets or whatnot, he's like, "Thank you." Like, and then this is the objective. As we start seeing that the problems is like we got fighter jets coming at us. It's like, shit. And that's really an effective use of color, and also showing the explosion with Thor like that. Damn. "Alright, airmen. One more go before RTB and reload." "We sure about this, Captain?" "Orders are orders. The raft is to be targeted until it's in the Krakoom," as we see lightning going after him. It's like, yeah. "I meant no visuals punching out. Lightning, does anyone have eyes on from one warrior to another? A request. Please exit thy vehicle." And we see Thor crouched on it. It's like, yep. And we see somebody asking for help. "On it. Just cleaning up after an eager thunder god," as Ms. Marvel is pretty much catching the people, like, exiting their vehicles. "The skies are clear once more, Captain." "Okay, but we've got more incoming in boats. The whole army is on the way." "Army is land, Tyler. We're being attacked by the Navy." I kind of love that. Steve's like, "Listen, sure, I kind of get that, but the correct thing is we're being attacked by the Navy, not the Army. Let's get everyone to safety right now. This fight is done." And I love how Cap's not belaboring the point, but it's like, yeah, we need to make sure we're on the same page. And then we see that James is leaving, and then Thor's like, "Shall I? We need you here, Thor. People are dying. James needs to go and think about what he's done." It's like, and I kind of like that shot of him shooting off in the armor. And what kind of man he wants to be. And we see him kind of thinking on that through this issue as all this stuff kind of comes to light. And then Steve's pretty much bringing other people in, asking if there's another bed in. Then Rosa's like, "It's in the corner." "Rosa, I put them there. I'll get to them when I can. I know we don't. I'm here to help. It's my job. I took an oath. This doesn't mean anything for you and me, Steve. I know. It's just. This is your oath to help, and this is mine to also help. I know you're mad. I should have talked to you beforehand, but I'm hoping we can still have a conversation when this is all over. I love you. Amy, can you do an intake on the new patient?" "Sure, but this is crazy. We need these supplies, and Cap's just... He's letting the enemy into our hideout. These guards were protecting the scientists who were doing inhumane experiments. There are actual supervillains in my room. He believes every life is worth saving, that everyone can lose their way but can be brought back into the light. Sometimes it's frustrating, but when you hear him say it, when you see him act on it, well, it can really make you believe for a moment in heroes." And I kind of like that, and we see Amy being like, it's a hard kind of situation, but you can help people, and if you show that kind of help, hopefully it changes them, and they want to help other people, and it's cool to see Rosa kind of coming to that, as we then see them ship, and we see Thor and everything, and we see Tony's head. "It's been too long, Captain. I never meant to. I know, Thor. It's okay. It is not. The burden of immortality is that there's a point where I can no longer face those I care for as time catches up to them. I've seen too many loved ones wither away while I have no choice but to watch them suffer. And I kind of like that that's the pretty much explanation of why Thor wasn't involved before, but then he answers the call now. Yeah, we get it. You're a graceful ager. I am ashamed, Luke Cage. What I did not have the courage to face an enemy that will always win. Time. After the devastation of H-Day, so many lost, I couldn't... You came when we needed you. That's what counts. And I truly agree with Steve there. Like, yes, you fucked off. Well, he didn't really fuck off, but he was dealing with stuff. But when he was called, he came. Guys, gods, I think we can make Mr. Stark here conscious again, but our generator's maxed out thanks to the medical equipment. We need... Say no more, young Avenger, as he just taps it and Tony's like, blah, blah, blah. He's like, what the fuck? James! Tony, it's Kamal. It's going to be okay. We're here. James. Oh God, James, I'm so sorry. I saw everything, Kamal. Decades of my boy, my son, spiraling in front of my eyes, and I couldn't. It's interesting that Tony is in that kind of situation where he wants to be a better father and help his son, but he really can't because he's just a floating head kept in stuff. It's not your fault, Tony. America's been twisted. They used you, and Steve, it's even worse. Donka, Herr Stark. It's like, fuck you, Red Skull ass bastard. It's the Red Skull, Steve, pretending to be Jarvis's brother, the CEO of my company. He's got my boy. And we just see Tony really feels that. He's like, he's got my boy. And it's nice to see him care so much about his son. And he's going to seize the military, reveal himself, and rule as the Red Skull. Sorry, but why? He's won. If he's been behind all of this, running your company, the Avengers, then America's already his. I've been on a lot of missions all around the world, fighting in countries ruled by dictators. They all have the same thing in common. This is, of course, Hawkeye talking to them about it, and she's on point. They wanted the world to know they did this. They were all men with irrational egos that needed history books to underline their name in red. Steve's looking at this, and I like Steve's face there. Just like, yep, he gets it. No matter what. Is this our new Hawkeye? I'm not... I sense a great warrior spirit in her. Okay, so the Red Skull is running the country, has access to its full military force and Tony's technology, and the public is probably going to be fine with it all and attack us for fighting back. Well, damn, Avengers assemble. It's like, yep. It's a pretty good sum up there, Luke. But everybody's like, alright, what do we do now? Well, we shift over and we see that James is not handling his ass whooping very well. Oh damn it. Leave me alone, sir. I just need to heal your... let the boy work. He needs this, as this kind of like bot is attempting to heal him. I need to make a better armor, but all my shit tools are, all my fucking tools are at the bottom of the East River. They made you look like a fool. I'm not in the mood, Jarvis. They made you look like a fool. And then we see him get like some red paint. And they're going to take our country away from us, James. Your father and his friends, who always kept America in a perpetual state of chaos. Right. Always try and say the thing that you're doing is the thing that they're doing. All I've ever wanted was prosperity and peace for all. Bullshit. And I've been vilified for it. Chased through the decades. Hiding in the shadows, making things better. Kyle? What are you? I wanted to tell you, son. I've been living a lie. My name is Johann Schmidt. I was once the terror of Hitler. The undeserved boogeyman of the country I've grown to love so much. I was known as the Red Skull, and I will be again. We've done this, boy. I've saved this country. I needed you to know the truth before they came for us, before they tried to twist your mind against me. Tony Stark isn't your father. I am. And we're in this together, son. As, of course, we see that the same blood on the Red Skull's hands are kind of now symbolically on James's, but he still has the choice. We'll have to see if he makes the correct one at the end of this. It's like, no. So we then see Steve getting back used to with his shield. But the practice makes perfect. The old bones remember. They just need more nudging. Good to see you up and walking around again. Still working on it with what we have. That Tyler kid is pretty smart. You okay? No, but forward is the only way. The futurist way. As we see that they pretty much made a thing for Tony to kind of walk around in. Which is pretty much just kind of like an armor thing. Steve, my mind feels out of step. I can't remember much. Did Jan survive? Is she... I'm sorry, Tony. We assumed that she died with you, with the rest. When did you last see her? I don't remember. But everyone's calling H-Day is just a jumble in my head. So then we go back and we kind of see that with Tony and Jan, and he pretty much I kind of like his old kind of, well, not old, well, it's old because of how old it is, but I do like this design and would like to see more of it. I remember we stopped Hulk, stopped Ultron, but lost so much. There were still Ultron-enhanced villains on a rampage. Heroes falling. I knew what was coming next. Only a fool couldn't have read the build-up over the years. America had had enough. I watched as they sent everything at what remained of Boston, not just at the villains, but at us, as they kind of shrunk down. The people were taking back their lives, their security, and mistook the firefighters for the fire. And it's like, yep, it wasn't the heroes. Jen and I managed to escape Boston, but we couldn't leave without James. I remember I had a plan, and then it like blacks out, and we see him like lost an arm, and then I just had pain. I was like, what the fuck? So we shift over. I don't know how they saw me coming, but they did. And he's just fucked up and surrounded in a crater hole. It's like, god damn. I don't remember what happened to Jane. I wish I could, but maybe it was terrible. Maybe I'm blocking it out. Maybe she's also a frozen head somewhere, staring at her son as he careens towards fascism. Yep. I'm sorry, Tony. If she's alive, we'll find her. And I love that. Tony's not sure, but Steve's like, if she's alive, we'll find her. And I like that. The friendship here. Like, I know that they have ideological differences that they kind of go on, but Tony's hurting, and Steve's like, if I can help, I'll help. And that's just great. And they're just like, alright, cool. But if she's dead, damn it, we're going to avenge her. We need to topple the skull and get to James. Very true. I've been doing some catch-up, and the biggest obstacle I can see is them. So we pretty much get into our next part of the game plan of them being like, we got to tackle these Avengers. A devastating attack on America. The facility was one of science, and the people who laid waste to it are our top priority. The Avengers will bring them to justice. They call themselves the Avengers, not for long. And we see them pretty much break into Avengers Mansion. It's like, ooh, we'll see how this kind of goes. Tony, getting nervous here? You should have hacked Avengers Mansion security by now. Mr. Stark, reports have the Avengers, the other Avengers, in Portland dealing with a flood. But I've almost taken care of. Just give me a minute. I'm trying to find a way into the security system. Still scanning for firewalls, and then we see that Hawkeye pretty much uses one of the hardwire kind of stuff to get in. Most everything of importance these days is hardwired. Airways aren't secure anymore. We can move in now. I'm like, yeah, that would pretty much be the best way to kind of deal with stuff. And it's great because then we see them get in. Sorry, Mr. Stark, I gave Ramona a security override just in case. It's okay, Tyler. Knock, knock. We're home. Wow. As we see our nice money shot. And I like that Tony's got pretty much the old school kind of armor. Just getting that kind of evocative. It's just really kind of cool. I love the artwork in this. And that's just a really cool shot. It hasn't changed. The structure remains the same. But the adornments leave something to be desired. Let's get to the command center. If we can set some traps for them when they return, that'll give us the advantage we need, as we see like the painting of the new Avengers. Sneak attack doesn't sound as very Avengers. The world is against us now, so these Avengers strike from the shadows. Okay, lesson learned. I'll tap in manually, see what kind of defenses the mansion has now that we can use. Tyler, how are we doing for time? It looks like they just left the scene. I don't know how fast they are, but if cross-country travel takes less than 10 minutes, I'll be shocked. And they're like, what the kind of fuck's going on before we start learning some kind of interesting kind of truths? Tony, there's not much here to dissuade enemies. I guess they don't have any. I'll try and pull up their files, see if we can spot any weaknesses. Sorry, is this their weakness? They're hollow like Easter egg chocolate? These are graphic programs, environments, reporters. None of it's real. The Avengers don't exist. These Avengers don't exist, and that's the whole big thing. Skull hasn't been using them or needed them. Oh, they exist, the world that they keep in line. Skull, you maniac. You should have prayed for them to be real. They're the only thing that stood in the way of us stopping you. Oh, mein Capitan. What they represent is what will stop you. I've defeated you by giving your precious Americans everything they've ever wanted. Prosperity through ignorance, blind eyes to the suffering of others, to America's global militaristic treachery. They believe what I tell them to believe because their cups are full. It will be resplendent to be able to finally tell them a singular truth. The Avengers of yesteryear are dead. Run! As the Skull pretty much set a trap for them. being like, hey, these guys are real, but now he's pretty much using it to kill the rest of them. Now, we're trapped. You cannot trap thunder. What? As we see, this is a great little moment of kind of levity there, as even though it's a death situation, Thor grabs Hawkeye and fucking thunders his way out. And we see Kamala get big, Steve shouting, go, and she's like, I'm out of here, Tony, get out of there. Not yet, I'm trying to get into Skull's local files. I just need... And then we see him doing what he's doing, but we see a giant explosion. Again, great use of color, and I completely love it there. Scraboom. Oh, sorry about that. Scraboom, yeah. And then we see Steve has been blasted back. Tony, are you all... I got his plans. He's already done it. He has the U.S. military, and he's going to burn down Washington. Hands on your head. Now, as he pretty much uses the military to capture the president. Prisoner secured, sir. Excellent. I've sent locations for all the defenders' safe houses. Have your units target those traitors next. How did you... People are sheep, James. Others use that as a negative metaphor, but sheep are precious and beautiful. Useful, but in need of guidance so they may live free away from the wolves. It's like, you are the wolf, asshole. You aren't protecting anyone. And I love how this pretty much shows him getting armored up and everything, and just getting ready to do what he wants to do. I control the news, but more than that, I control the news individual people see. Comforting news fills American households, but for those with a badge with sanctioned guns and military might, they see an America where their president is a traitor, where government is an anti-democratic nightmare. You and I have been running America unofficially for almost a decade now, son. We fed the sheep so well their happy sheep lives are because of us. So now, let us make it official. Let us take America. As he shifts over and we see him in his Red Skull armored self. It's like, fuck you, asshole. And we see Ultron there. So now we've got it set up. Skull's like, fuck this shit. I want everybody to know I did this. I won. I took over. And now our heroes have to figure out what to do because, granted, they don't have to actually deal with another Avengers team, so they don't have to deal with what they think of as heavy hitters of like another Thor, Captain Marvel, Captain America, Iron Man, but we don't know who the Red Skull and Ultron can pull out of play. HJ vastly affected like villains and heroes. We don't know who they have captured and who they have under control. I doubt they would have been able to kill the Hulk, so I am definitely assuming that the Hulk will be in play and utilized. They then have the whole entire military apparatus that is armed to the teeth with Stark tech that was been stolen from Tony and implemented by the Red Skull and James over the years. This is a big kind of threat. So the thing is, Steve talking about how these Avengers strike from the shadows is an apt one. Now, we've got 2 more issues left, so we're definitely gearing up with the end game coming into mind. We'll have to see what the Skull's able to do and how our heroes are going to respond to this. I actually have really been liking this because the characterizations of these older heroes I think fits very well. Kamala, Thor, Steve, Luke, Tony, our new Hawkeye into the group, adding a new kind of perspective. I really like this, and the pacing's been very well. That's a very hard thing to achieve, especially one in an ongoing series, even though this is a limited series, mini-series, but it's a lot harder also to get in a mini-series because sometimes you get a lot of front-ended action than maybe some ones that are just kind of slower. This one has been evenly paced to me. If you don't agree with that, I totally get it. I just like how we've got a nice ebb and flow and that we're getting towards that kind of end, and I can't wait to see what kind of goes on. And I mean, I just love that we also got this kind of funny little thing, like they're in a death situation and fucking Thor's like, you cannot trap thunder, and Hawkeye's just, her face is like, what? Oh god! And then she gets like taken out of there. It's like, yay! She's not used to it. And she's one of the only ones that isn't really souped up or in a kind of more kind of protective thing. And Thor knew to get her out. It's a simple little thing that is hard to get and hard to communicate. Because if you don't get that, you don't get the character and you don't get that kind of team gelling that we get here. And I can't wait to see what's going to go on next. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.